Well, we made it. We're here. We're at the Humber Bridge. Yesterday, Hull was under inches of snow, and tomorrow we've got rain and wind forecast. So we're very lucky that we've got a beautiful, clear and sunny day today. So we've come to visit the amazing Humber Bridge, which has been operational now for over 40 years and joins Lincolnshire to Yorkshire. And it takes about 5 minutes to cross in a car. But today we're going to walk across, and I'm going to take my Triride wheelchair. That didn't go according to plan, did it? This is the east side of the bridge. The south carriageway closed. We set off from home in Lincolnshire up the A15, close to Scunthorpe, and then onto the M180. Today we're driving our Land Rover Discovery Sport, head towards Grimsby on the M180, and then take the roundabout for the A15, which takes you all the way up to Barton upon Humber and the bridge. I first crossed the bridge in 1983, just a couple of years after it was built, and it's always fascinated me, so I always enjoy coming back here with Lat. Prior to the bridge, there was a ferry service between Hull and New Holland, and one of the ferries was the Lincoln Castle, and that was a coal-fired paddle steamer which was in service until 1978. For a bit of fun, I asked AI to create me an oil painting of the ferry crossing the Humber in the fog. This is what I got. Going back into history, of course, the Romans used the Humber, and it was through the Humber up to the River Ouse that gave them access to their second great city, York. And of course, the Humber also served as the entrance to England for the Vikings. In fact, the Viking Way starts around about where the bridge is, and it goes all the way down into Rutland, if you like a nice walk. But I think the coolest story, 1399, Henry Bolingbroke, the only king to be born in Lincolnshire, returns from his exile to gather his army and overthrow King Richard II. He crossed the Channel from France. He landed on the Humber at Spurn Point at a place called Ravenspurn. Back then it was a thriving port with a city rivaling Hull itself. But today it's been swallowed up by coastal erosion and sits about a mile offshore under the ocean. Richard II and Henry Bolingbroke were cousins, and they were born just 3 months apart. It's a very interesting story of power. After exiling his cousin, Henry came back, Henry Bolingbroke, and eventually became Henry IV, father of the great King Henry V. There's no official car park here under the bridge, so we just parked in a street nearby, and this time we can access the bridge on the northern route. I shall leave some links in the description to information about the bridge and also to some history if you're interested. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're enjoying the video. Thanks. That is ice you can see shining on the footpath there, and I was getting a lot of wheel spin. Just about made it up the hill. But anyway, we made it, so let's go. I hope you enjoyed that video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We're on our way home now. The drive from Humber Bridge to Scunthorpe is really quite pleasant and probably one of the best bus rides I've ever done. So anyway, thanks again for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.